In 2022, Netflix's latest fantasy masterpiece flawed product officially arrives. The drama revolves around three young people who, due to an evil scientist's genetic modification experiment, suffer from a rare disease since childhood. They also experience significant physical damage but gain superpowers that are different from ordinary people, such as uncontrollably transforming into a werewolf, etc. These superpowers torment them, and they deeply desire to become normal again one day. Therefore, they undergo genetic modification by a scientist named Maze. Over the years, Maze has been making drugs specifically to prevent side effects from the experiment. They have relied on this drug to maintain a normal life. However, this time they suddenly discover that their supply of the drug is running out and they haven't received new ones from Maze. Gradually, without the drug, their superpowers start to go out of control. Xiao Ai is a student of biological experiments. On this day, she is participating in an interview at a famous university. She appears particularly nervous during the QA with the two examiners and does not perform well. The examiners also treat her indifferently. At this moment, Xiao Ai suddenly emits a scent from her body. After inhaling this scent, the two examiners suddenly change their attitudes and become very nervous around Xiao Ai, even enjoying intimate physical contact. Sensing something is wrong, Xiao Ai immediately gets up and hurriedly leaves. In the process of escaping, she accidentally bumps into a man. After inhaling the charming scent emitted by Xiao Ai, the man immediately develops an infatuation for her. In order to get rid of the entanglement of these three people, Xiao Ai picks up a freshener next to a trash can and smashes it towards the man, taking the opportunity to escape. It turns out that Xiao Ai's superpower is emitting a hormone-laden charming scent. However, due to the excessively high level of hormones, normal people who smell this scent will uncontrollably fall in love with Xiao Ai. On the other side, at a bar concert, Anna, the lead singer of a band, is singing passionately. Suddenly, she feels that the voices around her become unusually noisy. She tries to endure it and continues singing, but gradually, she can no longer bear the torment and screams in pain. With this scream, the glass of the bar instantly shatters. Therefore, she immediately leaves the scene. It turns out that Anna's superpower is having super-sensitive hearing, and her voice also possesses a certain attacking power. The third person with superpowers is a boy named Juan. He finds that he sleeps well at home every night but always ends up wandering in the wild the next day, with tattered clothes and bloodstains. Animal corpses also appear around him. He doesn't understand why he suddenly becomes like this, so he hurriedly runs back home and cleans himself up. When checking the surveillance footage, he is shocked to discover that the rabbit was not killed by a wild animal but by himself. It turns out that his superpower is transforming into a wolf unconsciously. To solve the side effects caused by genetic mutations, the three of them go to the laboratory to find Magu and obtain the antidote. But something unexpected happens. Maki drew blood for them and gave them medicine that could relieve their condition. The three left after getting the medicine. On the way back, Anna suddenly felt unwell, so she took the medicine immediately, but it took a long time before she found that her symptoms did not ease. Only then did she realize that the medicine Maki gave them was fake. When she walked downstairs to the band because she had super keen hearing, she heard her boyfriend agree to let others take her away, but she couldn't control herself. She roared and shattered all the glass upstairs. The two people upstairs were instantly scared. On the other side, Xiao Ai in the laboratory was not optimistic. Because the medicine had no effect this time, she exuded more and more charming smells. After inhaling the gas emitted from her body, her colleagues around her wanted to get closer to her frantically. Seeing that she was surrounded by so many people, she had no choice but to get herself soaked. The next day, Juan found himself waking up in the wilderness again, and there was a dead puppy not far away. He was scared that he was deceived. The three angry people immediately rushed to the laboratory to settle accounts with Magi, only to find that Magi had already run away, and only his assistant, Sister Lee, was in the laboratory. Sister Lee told them that the drugs they took could only stabilize their mutated cells and could not fundamentally cure their illness. However, Sister Lee said that a new drug had been developed recently. After the cell was injected into their body, it could engulf their mutated cells and turn them into normal people. However, the cell is still in the experimental stage and has not been truly developed. In desperation, they had to take the blue medicine bottle on the table away. Sister Yi Li and Xiao Ai attacked Xiao Ai directly and tried to snatch the blue medicine bottle from her hand. Seeing that Xiao Ai and Anna were about to be killed, Juan turned into a werewolf and started to bite the man. In an instant, he tore the man's internal organs apart. Juan, who had turned into a werewolf, had lost his human consciousness at this time and turned around to stare at Xiao Ai and Anna. Fortunately, Sister Lee acted in time and gave the werewolf a shot. The werewolf fell to the ground instantly and turned back to Juan after waking up. For safety reasons, Juan was temporarily tied to the operating table. On the other side, the strange man was also tied up. When Sister Lee checked, she suddenly found that the man's heart was moving rapidly. In an instant, the man suddenly revived and stretched out his hand to strangle Anna's neck. Anna was strangled by someone. And the scary thing was that the person strangling her neck was a dead person. The scene in front of them scared them all. They thought the man was not dead yet. So, in order to retaliate against the man's behavior just now, Anna directly picked up the electric saw and split the man's head. Xiaobian's neck was cold when he saw this scene, and he said that women really can't afford to offend him. Afterwards, Juan and Xiao Ai buried the man together, but happened to pick up the camera that the man dropped. They found that the man had been following her and secretly took many photos. In those photos, in addition to them, a strange girl was also found. Therefore, they guessed that the people in the camera should all be people with acute dementia. In order to find out the truth of the matter and to find an antidote that can cure them, after discussion, they dug the man out of the ground again and tried to connect her head and neck. A magical scene happened. After Li Si took her broken head and connected it to her broken neck, her wound healed quickly, and the severe pain made her suffer after resurrection. In order to help her relieve a little, Zhao Ai quickly injected her with a dose of sedative. It turned out that the reason why she was eager to find Ma Ge was that she wanted him to develop an antidote to help her completely solve the pain. But when she heard Li Qi say that they could not really develop an antidote with their technology at present, her hope was shattered again. So, in despair, she chose to commit suicide. When everyone reacted, the man in front of them had been blown up to blood. Originally, they just wanted to find some clues about Ma Ge through the man, but now the man is dead, and the clues are broken. But unexpectedly, they found a hint in the laboratory and found the strange girl photographed by the man's camera on a computer. They followed the clues to find the girl and wanted to know some details about Ma Ge's experiment, but the girl didn't seem to want to communicate with him and drove Xiao Ai away. At this time, a strange man suddenly called Xiao Ai and said that his name was Xiao Shuai, and he was also one of the people who were experimented by Ma Ge. He said that he had a way to find Ma Ge. Excited, Xiao Ai immediately took Juan and Anna, and they were ready to go find Xiao Shuai together. Xiao Er and his 3-member team came to Xiao Shuai with hope, hoping to get news about Ma Ge. When they first met, Xiao Shuai and Ikexin greeted them warmly and introduced their friends to them. But just 35 seconds later, this man changed his face. At the moment when Xiao Ai wanted to go to the toilet, he actually invited Anna to climb the stairs, and Juan was left by the big black girl to tell a story. The narcissistic Juan thought that the other party coveted his beauty, and just when he was intoxicated, the black girl gave him a shot of anesthetic. Anna vaguely heard something and was about to go back to see Juan, but Xiao Shuai suddenly attacked. On the other side, Xiao Heimei seemed to have said something wrong. The vigilant Xiao Ai quickly took out a handkerchief to wipe his sweat, and then waved it gently. In an instant, Xiao Heimei inhaled Xiao Ai's body fragrance, but Xiao Ai let him have a shot of Coca-Cola. Then, Xiao Ai fled the house in a panic, but the captain was the captain. After hesitating again and again, he decided to go back to save his companions. However, he was also attacked from behind soon after entering. In a blink of an eye, the little monsters woke up from the nightmare, and Anna stretched out her 30-meter-long legs for Xiao Shuai to appreciate. Unfortunately, under the piercing whistle, she soon returned to her willfulness, and Xiao Huan was also enjoying the loving touch of Xiao Heimei 50 times per second. At the critical moment, you still have to look at the captain. Although Xiao Ai was also tied up, Dai Heimei just collected his sweat. Xiao Ai took advantage of the situation and kicked off the opponent's mask. Before Dai Heimei could cover it again, she had already inhaled Xiao Ai's nuclear ear. In a blink of an eye, Dai Heimei obediently untied Xiao Ai's shackles and pestered Xiao Ai to express her love, but the irritable Xiao Ai asked him to get out of the way. Unexpectedly, Dai Heimei was desperate and took up a scalpel to end her life. At this time, Xiao Shuai was having fun with Anna's childhood and taught her to pay attention to hygiene. Looking at Anna's moving tears, Tu felt a chill on his back. Just a turn, the uncle who was sucked into the bottom cavity fell deeply in love with Xiao Ai. And under Xiao Ai's instigation, he caught himself at a size of 80 kilometers. The two sisters quickly found the location of the lake bay, but Xiao Heimei was wearing a mask and holding a gun, and the situation suddenly turned around. Anna hoped that he would let her go, but the black girl told them that those delicate liver cells might be useful, and then asked them to tie herself up. However, with the roar, a werewolf suddenly appeared behind him. It was only a moment before Xiao Heimei was bitten to death by the knife, and the werewolf also ran away. Xiao Ai and Anna hurried out to look for it, but there was still a figure. Worried and helpless, they had to leave first. At the same time, a mysterious old black man appeared. Seeing the wolf world and the corpse in front of him, he called the cleaning lady, but it turned out not to call the police. Is this guy the same kind or the same kind? Where will Xiao Ai and the others go? And where will Huan, who has transformed into a werewolf, wake up? If you like it, please click the red heart and pay attention to the next update.